Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody to know if you have an invisible condition, you do have a voice, you do have a community, and you are never alone. And I am very excited to introduce you to our guest today, Taiba Bush. I knew I was going to butcher that. I practiced it too. I swear I practiced it. I really did. Taiba Bajar is her name. I got it. I got that time. Taiba Bajar. She is an award-winning researcher and the founder of Autism Brain Empowerment. When her son was 2 years old, he started losing skills or not being able to do simple things that he was previously able to do. And so after he lost his ability to speak and became like highly anxious, I mean, come on, that would make anybody highly anxious. Taiba suspected autism, but found medical support was lacking in that department. So drawing on her expertise in brain plasticity from her degree in dentistry, she embarked on a 2-year journey, 2 years, exploring brain gut health, cerebellum development, emotional intelligence, and environmental optimization. Man, that just makes my head hurt thinking about it. So there is a lot more to the story, and I can't wait for you to meet her. So I'm just going to bring her on. Let's do it. Here we go. There she is. Taiba, thank you so much for being here. This is awesome.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeff.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is great. So first of all, where are you in the world right now? Where do you live currently right now?
I live just outside of Southampton in the UK. So awesome. Southampton is famous for where the Titanic left from. It's our claim to fame. So I'm from there, and I live near there.
I forgot about that. There you go. Okay, yeah. That's cool. That's the claim to fame. All right. So what were some of the early, let's just dive right in. What were some of those early signs that led you to suspect maybe that your son was not, like, something was clearly happening? There was decline in certain skills going on. What made you think that your son might have autism, and how did that realization kind of like impact you as a mom?
So with my son, he was developing like relatively normally until he was 20 months old. So he was a happy boy, had eye contact, had learned to feed himself, was able to name his colors, was an early walker. And it seemed like he was developing normally. But then when he was 20 months old, he just had a rapid skills regression where he lost skills that he already had. And that's actually a common symptom of autism. If someone has a rapid skills regression where they lose skills that they previously mastered and had, that's a symptom of autism. So with my own son, it happened within 1 month. Within 4 weeks, he became nonverbal, stopped having eye contact, stopped eating as well. So he would eat. He was like a good eater, eating a variety of foods. And then he would eat no more than 1 bite of food every 2 days. Oof. And he'd lost so much weight. So he became very, very skinny. He also was, like I said, he was an early walker. And then he now wanted to always get picked up. He now struggled to get off the ground. So he wouldn't be able to like push himself off the ground anymore. So within those 4 weeks, it was really rapid, really scary. And as parents, we were a little bit in denial about, well, it can't be, and I'm sure nothing's wrong, but something looks like it's wrong. I've got 2 sisters who are teachers, and they were like, this is a symptom of autism. So they had pointed me towards autism. And then it just became a fact that with autism, early years intervention is so key that when I accepted it, I started this journey.
Nice. And that's part of the struggle, right? You got to accept that that's what's going on. A lot of people are so reluctant to, or maybe it's like they're in denial. It's like, no, I don't want to, because it seems like big deal. Like there's so much you're going to have to adapt to, and so much you're going to have to change. And so, so accepting it is a big step. Was that must have been kind of tough?
Really, really tough, actually.
Yeah.
I think also when you try so long to have a baby and then you have a perfect baby, you think your baby's perfect, that
Yeah.
it can be even harder to accept actually he's different. He's got
Yeah.
these struggles and things aren't going as smoothly, even though you prayed for it to go smoothly, you wanted it to go smoothly, and then something's happened. And it's really hard actually when people put labels onto your child. And so I think there's always a bit of tension there. And we definitely experience that as parents.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's crazy how people rush to judgment like that, and just say things. It's almost like they can't help it. It's like they feel uncomfortable. They see something they're not used to seeing, and they can't help it that just to say something, and it usually doesn't come out very well. I've experienced that too. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely happened with me as well.
Yeah. Ugh, that's terrible. I mean, and part of that is learning to take it in stride and kind of brush it off and realize that they don't know the whole story. They could never possibly know the whole story. And so as the person on that side of the equation, you almost have to have like enormous amounts of grace, for that, for them and for you and for your child,
and also try to realize maybe they're coming from a good place.
Right. Yeah. You can't assume the worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's possible they're just trying to be inquisitive, but they're just doing it wrong,
Yeah.
Well, I just want to throw this out there for everybody watching, for all of you out there watching. If you have questions about autism, if you or you just want to come on the show and support Taiba and the amazing things that she's doing, reach out. If you're watching on Facebook, comment. If you're watching on YouTube, throw a comment in there. I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do right now. Here is her website. If you have your phone handy and you're watching on a device that allows you to do it, scan the QR code. Otherwise, autismbrainempowerment.com is the place to go, and you can learn all kinds of things about what she's doing and amazing difference she's making. So just check it out. And if you have questions, please reach out. So when your son finally, when he regressed even more during the lockdown, right, in 2020, how did that period affect you and your family? I mean, that, as if you weren't going through enough already, and then you're locked inside for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think a part of that was we thought, oh, maybe this is from the lockdown. Like, I think it puts him more in denial. It's only when later on, when things opened up and we saw him with other children, we're like, no, he is different to the other children. Like, it wasn't lockdown. There is something here. So, but I think the lockdown really was very, very, very stressful, and never ever wished for it to come back. So I think. I think that, I know. I think that happened to my child was really hard. Watching the news at the time was really hard. And then being by yourself and not knowing when things were going to lift was all hard. So it was a really terrible time. And I definitely don't want to go back there.
No, nobody does. Nobody does. That, I mean, there are some things that have come out of that whole nightmare mess that is COVID, but I've realized a few really cool things that have come out of that I never would have seen coming, but there was plenty of stuff that I'm very excited to see in the review mirror. So yeah, for sure. So there, I mean, obviously there were difficult moments that during that, but even besides that, just in general, as a larger issue, navigating the healthcare system in the UK, the medical system in the US is great in some aspects and absolutely sucks in other aspects of it. And I'm sure you experienced that in the UK. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the UK, it's supposed to be great because at the point of service, it's free. That's supposed to be free, especially
Included.
Yeah, you're right, included, paid for by our taxes.
Right.
So, but there's huge waiting lists. So,
Yes.
and originally what happened was I went to our primary care doctor and she had just brushed it off. He's too young for a diagnosis and really dismissed my concerns. And
Yep.
then I went to we have something in the UK called a health visitor, which is
Mm.
kind of like a nurse in charge of children between 0 to 5. And she can do a similar job to primary care physicians. So
Yep.
I went to that health visitor and she did take me seriously. And she made all the appropriate referrals for physio because of his walking struggles now, occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, a wide range of services. And the first appointment that came through, we waited for about 3 months for the appointment. Yeah, which is very normal here. It's very normal.
Wow.
And then at the appointment, all I felt was that, so I was telling it was actually with the physio, and I was telling her all about his struggles and what happened. We saw as parents with the skills regression, how we think it's autism, how my sisters who are teachers also think it's autism. And, he was sensitive to sound now, really anxious. He could hear stuff like the water in the pipes and just like react to those things. And if we used a blender or mixer mixer in the kitchen, he would be so scared he would scream and run up to the run upstairs.
Wow.
And the smoke, we would be fearful of the smoke detector ever going off because he would just have a crazy reaction to loud sounds. All of that has gone, by the way. It's all disappeared.
Oh,
Which is
good.
amazing. Yeah. But so what I was explaining to the therapist about all of his struggles, and what I felt like was in the appointment, she was just telling me, yes, that does happen with autism. Yeah, sounds like it's autism. Yeah, he probably will have these struggles. He will, yeah, that's quite normal. Yeah, he'll have that fault. And I just felt like she was using the appointment to sorry, I know we're supposed to do one take. But can you hear the car alarm?
No.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
You're good.
Car alarm. Okay, brilliant. I didn't want that in the back. Someone's car alarm's going off.
All right. Nope.
Yeah.
I can't hear a thing.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. So I was speaking to the therapist, and all I felt like was in that appointment, rather than using that appointment to help my son, she was using that appointment to just to basically decrease my expectations of what to expect from him. So yeah, he will have these lifelong struggles. Yeah, these struggles are normal. Yeah, you'll need to find headphones for him. And I was like, she's not going to help me. Like they don't want to help me. I'm not going to get help from them. And then that's when I decided to look into and do my own research and find out how to help my own son. So with my dentistry degree, I studied for 5 years at University of Bristol, which is one of the best universities in the UK, in their dental school. And in the 5 years, we learn about neuroanatomy, neuroscience, neuroplasticity, which is about how to rewire the brain. We studied all those modules. So I was like, and I actually won the clinical research prize in my year group for my research skills, research I did. So I knew that if I looked into it myself, I could find more answers, and I felt confident in navigating the biology behind it and the science behind it. So I just and was able to help my own son. And then that's when I developed something called the 7-step autism action plan, which I wrote about in my book, Unlock Autism.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. And that book people can get to that book through your website right here on the screen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good.
The Amazon link is on the website.
Awesome. I am blown away that I don't know a lot about dental school here in the US, but I'm pretty impressed that it seems almost out of place that they would go into neuroplasticity and neurology and all that. Why would they go into that in dental school?
It's not really, because we deal a lot with pain management. So nerves, it all comes together.
There you go.
Yeah, and a lot of times patients will come to see their dentist for a pain in their even for headaches or for jaw pain. So it's not actually that out of place.
That's true. I hadn't thought of it from that point of view. See, learn something new every day.
Probably don't think about dental school curriculum that much.
Yeah.
That's why I never realized that.
On the surface, it sounds a little bizarre, seems a little out of place, but no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because pain yeah, the pain receptors in the brain and the, yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You learned something new today. That one's for free. Uh, so what, so you obviously was like, all right, that's enough of that nonsense. She's just trying to knock my expectations down to nothing. So if anything happens, I'm excited, right? That is not the way I want to live. What motivated you to take matters into your own hands and explore all that stuff, the brain gut connection and the plasticity and the environmental optimization? I mean, that's a lot. What was the motivator there?
So one of the motivators, there was obviously a lot, but one of the motivators were I felt like my son was born normal. Like he wouldn't have these symptoms before. So I felt like there must have been some sort of change in his environment that has caused this. And that theory was met with a lot of skepticism from the healthcare professionals that I spoke to. I think they really haven't been trained that much in autism, even though it's very, very common. So the training may be different. So I just had an instinct that something changed. It was like a switch, or like a trigger that that's why his behaviors change. And if I can just get to the root causes of that, then I could really help him. And I think what I found is that when I spoke to a lot of healthcare professionals or even members of the public, and I asked, okay, so what was the cause of autism? Like, what's the cause of it? They were like, oh, the explanation I was given most often was that it's in his genes, so it's genetic. And I thought, okay, if it's only genetics, why wasn't he showing symptoms from day one? So that was my main motive. That was a big motivation and drive for me that something's changed. I can't accept this. But another big motivation is because it was my son. You, as a mum, you love your children. You're obsessed with your children. You think about your child 24/7. If you're like, for me, at least, if your child has a good day, you have a good day. When someone asks me, oh, how was your day? Or how are you doing? I would automatically, oh, I'm doing well. My child's doing this. My other child's doing that. It's just so intrinsically linked.
Yes.
So I couldn't see him struggle.
Yeah.
Where he has anxiety, or he's too scared to go to a supermarket. He's too scared to go to normal places. I dreamed for my husband and I both dreamed for our child to have a normal life where he can make better life than me, my husband even had, and make the most of all of his opportunities that we wanted to give him. Yes. So it's really, it was easier for me to do this and go into the research and learn about the biological causes of autism and to make all the appropriate changes we did in our household for our son than it was to just not do anything and just accept, oh, he will struggle his whole life. And that's that. And I felt like as a parent, I had to feel like I've done everything to help him so I can sleep at night. I've done everything. And I didn't want to have a regret, but when he's 10, when he's 7, I wish I did more, because I knew the early years and, as a child, you make the biggest impact on behavior and learning new skills. It's easier to do that as a child than it is the older they get. So I just had to know that I did everything I could to help him. So that was another motivation for me.
100%. And we, our kids are, our oldest daughter is almost 21 and our son is 17 and our youngest daughter is 15. And even at that age, we're, our oldest daughter is off in California on an internship doing amazing things. And even we've got an app on the phone that shows us where everybody is, it's like a tracking. It's not creepy. Don't worry, everybody. It's not,
I think just most parents have it these days.
Right?
Most parents of teenagers and families seem to have it these days.
Oh my gosh. Especially when they start driving. Holy smokes. You've got to have something to see where they're going. I don't know how my parents did it. I think, I know it was it was just, there was no other option, but man, it's so nice. So even her being in Northern California and us being in Colorado, we can look on that app anytime, day or night, and say, oh, look, she's, doing this or doing that. It's like that. My point is, it never goes away. You
Yeah.
always want to take care of your children. You always want the best for them. You never want anything to befall them that it could be harmful or anything like
Yeah.
that. So it's 100%. So that's a parent's job.
Yeah.
That's it. So
I actually
yeah.
see my parents who were in their 60s and my dad's in his 70s and
Mhm.
how they parent us. And I can see that sometimes they're still got that worry. They still pray
Yep.
for us.
Yeah.
That is, it's just, I know it never goes away.
Right.
I'm hoping it goes down a little bit.
Well, I mean,
Never goes
yeah.
away.
I mean, when you start having kids and have a family of your own, you kind of hope, but I still hear my mom say, if we go to visit them, it's like, I can't sleep until I know you're home safe.
Oh,
So, and
yeah,
and my parents are in their 70s too. And I don't think it totally ever goes away. So,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
anyway, that's a good
something
thing though.
different.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So, well, I'll tell you what, this I think is a really good place for a break. But I am very excited to come back from the break, and we're going to talk more about your program that you developed and how it's helping people and how it's doing amazing things for you and your son. And so, don't go anywhere, anybody. There is more to come. We got the best part of the story coming up. So stick around, and we will see you on the other side.
Hey there. You know, every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
Tired of losing cell service in dead zones? Concerned about connectivity in emergencies? There is now an answer. Introducing the Love Pod. The world's first affordable encrypted global internet Wi-Fi hotspot connects with multiple service carrier networks and is satellite assisted when no service carrier networks are available. So it works virtually anytime, anywhere. Connect up to 9 devices, like our cell phone, laptop, desktop, TV, security cam, and more. Stream, chat, text, download, and make phone calls, all with no roaming fees. With mesh capability, the Love Pods will grow in strength and speed with each new pod activated to create a private terrestrial-based intranet called Love Global Network. The Love Pods are dual blockchain encrypted with Love's proprietary 2048-bit cube chain encryption, giving you the ultimate protection in data privacy and security against digital attacks and hacks to your devices. You are no longer tracked, and your data is never sold. Get the Love Pod, your private, encrypted, portable global internet Wi-Fi hotspot, and stay safe and stay connected.
Hi, Eva Black Occurrence here, and I am the host of One Punch Superstars, where we meet real people who chose to fight for their hopes and their dreams and become the champions of their destiny. You can find us on Achieve TV every Tuesday and Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time, right here on E360 TV.
Hey, everybody, before we bring Taba back to the show, I want to talk to you about a community that we are so excited about called Invisible Condition University, ICU. I know, the irony is not lost on us on the night. We did that on purpose. Invisible Condition University is something I wish had been around for me 10 years ago. Every time I had a surgery, and I've had a lot, my wife and family were mostly on their own without anybody to help them. Once they leave the hospital, that's it, most of the time. So that's why my wife and I created ICU. We wanted to provide a place where other people like us would find a community that listens, that cares, that walks with you, no matter what you're going through, no matter what the condition is. We meet on Zoom twice a month for an hour and provide a safe place for patients and their caregivers to ask questions, vent frustrations. There's a few of those, and find information not provided by their medical professionals. To join our growing community, simply scan the QR code or go to invisibleconditionuniversity.com and join the community today. We are so excited. In fact, today is going to be one of those calls. We're going to have a call at 3 p.m. It's every other Tuesday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So today is one of those calls. Today, August 20th at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Yeah. So join us. We're excited to see you there. And let's bring Taba back here. Let me take this down. All right. Here we go. Thank you for being here, Taba. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me, Jack.
Man, this is awesome. I love this. I love this story because you did not take this laying down. And the thing that I have realized with so many people on our show is they took their health or their loved one's health into their own hands and advocated for themselves, advocated for them, and got to the bottom of it and got it done. So
absolutely.
And I love that. So can you just walk us through maybe some of the steps that you took to change your son's diet and routine, and what kind of immediate changes when you did that did you notice? Because it worked.
Yeah, no, it does really work. Well, in the UK at least, the typical treatment or like intervention given to an autistic child is speech and language therapy and occupational therapy and physiotherapy. No, basically just speech and language, occupational therapy, and ABA therapy as well. Sorry, ABA. So what I noticed was when he would have speech and language appointments, it wasn't really for him. It wasn't really tailored for him, because in the speech and language appointments, the instructor, the therapist, was trying to teach him how to move his lips to make certain sounds. And I just felt like he could say these sounds before. He had words before, and he would say the odd word here and there as well. So it's not like he can't say words. I just felt like speech and language therapy, the appointments were just trying to teach him to make sounds and move his lips when that wasn't an issue for him. So I think speech and language therapy is more for speech and language disorders and not for autistic children.
Yeah.
And then with ABA therapy, I felt like it was more about teaching children certain behaviors and like a reward system. So that the way it's similar to how you would train a pet. So how you would train a pet not to, scratch the furniture and to, go to the toilet in the litter box or only outside in the garden or whatever. Yeah. So I just felt like ABA therapy was similar to that, like reward and that behavior motivation. It was kind of, it didn't really feel like healing to me.
Yeah.
So the big difference with my approach is I looked into the biological causes of autism to try and get my son to heal himself, and to so I just felt like if we just look at the causes of autism and then we just did the opposite of it and changed his environment and changed his diet, then he would get better. And then it kind of did work out like that. So in terms of my 7-step autism action plan, I'll just quickly run through each step. Step 1 is called optimize oxytocin. So oxytocin is a famous and really powerful hormone in everyone's bodies, and it's often called the love hormone. And it's because it's really important for bonding, really, really important for bonding. And with autistic children, often they're in their own worlds, and you have to enter their world first, build that bond, and when they have so much oxytocin inside their bodies, you learn new skills faster. So step 1 is optimize oxytocin. Step 2 is break down blood. So this involves getting a blood test done for your child and a gene methylation test done for your child. So a blood test will be testing for certain biomarkers, which is like more relevant to autism. For example, one of them is an omega-3 index. So an omega-3 index test is a finger prick blood test where you'll test how much omega-3 is in your child, in their blood. And omega-3 is usually like an optimum omega-3 for focus and concentration, learning new skills, things that autistic children struggle with. It should be between 8 to 12%. Autistic children, it can generally be below 1%, the omega-3 index.
Wow.
And for ADHD children, it's generally below 3%. So once you know that, you can make the steps to change that. So there's very, very specific biomarkers for autism that I would recommend clients get, and I did for my own son, to get to find out where he is and to make changes to improve his physical health, to then improve his brain health.
Yeah.
The second part of step 2 is that saliva gene methylation test. So methylation is a process. Are you familiar with methylation?
Yes. Yeah. I am, but they might not be. Go for it.
Yeah. So methylation is a process that your body is doing billions of times in each second. It underlies so many different processes. And autistic children on the whole are generally undermethylated. So in a saliva gene methylation test, it just involves they're taking the saliva of your child for about 1 minute, sending it to a lab, and they will do a thorough look on what genes they have, what their genes they have, and what that means in whether they are able to create certain enzymes or certain products in their blood, so in their body. Okay. So, for example, we eat folic acid as people. We eat folic acid. It's in our food, but our bodies do not use folic acid. It creates something called methylfolate, and it will use methylfolate. So that transformation of folate into methylfolate is called methylation. So it methylates your food. Yeah. And autistic children can struggle with methylation. Maybe it's going too fast, maybe it's going too slow. And where that process underlies so many parts of your child's health, for example, their focus, their gut health, their brain health, their concentration. And that's why generally autistic children have a wide spectrum of different symptoms like constipation, diarrhea. It could be something like that.
Well, I would also imagine that it, like the methylation, it would affect the absorption of all those nutrients, right? That's what the underlying ultimate thing is they're not able to absorb everything as effectively, right? Is that fair to say?
Absolutely correct.
Okay.
Absolutely correct. Step 3 is called grasp the gut-brain bond. So that's all about, there's 2 parts of this. One is about expanding the child's diet. So sometimes what can typically happen for autistic children is that they have a very limited diet. So that's not going to be good for their brain health. It's not going to be good for their physical health. And it's not going to be good for their gut health. So the first phase of grasp the gut-brain bond is learning how to expand their diet. And what we need to introduce to give them, to basically expand their diet and get them away from these having such a restricted and limited foods.
Yeah.
And the next phase of grasp the gut-brain bond is how to improve their gut health. So a person's brain and their gut will talk to each other all day long. Yep. So your gut will send signals to your brain, and your brain will send signals to your gut. So quite commonly, the gut is called a person's second brain.
Yeah.
And if your gut's not working right, your brain's not working right. And for autistic children, a very common yet unknown symptom is having gut health issues. So constipation is very common. Diarrhea or loose stools is very common. Having like a lot of flatulence and gas is very common as well. So so with step 3, we are talking about how to improve their gut health. And usually when we do that, we see a dramatic improvement in the child's symptoms. And it can actually help a non-verbal child have eye contact and have words.
Oh, wow.
So it's
just
really,
that.
really, really powerful. Really powerful. Gut health is so important. Step 4 is take down toxins. So there are 2 phases to this as well. Phase 1 is understanding that there are so many environmental toxins in our environment that we don't even, they're so normalized that we don't even consider it as a toxin. For example, tap water in the UK isn't actually the best. It actually contains lead in it and other heavy metals. And these heavy metals have an effect on a child's behavior and a person's behavior and their overall health. In fact, autistic children have a higher concentration of heavy metals inside of their bodies compared to neurotypical children. So what that tells you is there's either something in their environment that they're getting heavy metals from, and that's causing these symptoms, or their body's not able to detoxify itself properly. So we all have 4 organs of detoxification. Sorry, we all have 4 organs of detoxification. So that's your gut, your liver, your kidneys, and your skin. So that's how we get toxins out of our body. Yeah, how we get toxins out.
I hadn't thought about the skin. I always think of the kidney and the liver. That's the normal 2 that everybody thinks about.
No,
the other 2 I had.
Actually, number 1, the gut.
What is?
The gut.
The gut. Wow.
Yeah, you get toxic because obviously the gut, one of the roles of it is to make your stools.
Yeah.
And that's how you get toxins out of your body.
Well, and the skin is the biggest organ in your body, and it can
push toxins out, and it can let toxins in.
Wow.
So you have to be careful what you put on your skin.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
So,
keep going.
No, it's fine. So I've got a 2-week gut detox. So everything's done naturally and through food. So it's nothing weird. There's no detox baths or anything like that. It's a 2-week diet for the gut, a 2-week diet for the liver, a 2-week diet for the kidneys, and a 2-week lifestyle for the skin, which improves the health of those organs so that you're able to detoxify better. So the child's gut, liver, kidneys, and skin starts to work better, getting heavy metals outside of their body. And the dramatic improvement in a child's, engagement, focus, concentration, how many words they're speaking, their communication skills, listening to instructions, all improves after each phase. Wow. Which is so amazing. It's so amazing.
Well, and this is probably something that step right there that you're talking about, that could be for anybody. That doesn't have to be anybody that I mean, I realize why you created it was because of, what happened with your son, but anybody with or without autism could benefit from that. I mean, that's
absolutely
the gut health. And that's a big deal for just about anybody. So that's great.
In fact, one of my clients, the parent has lupus, so an autoimmune disease.
Oh yeah.
And she did the program with her daughter, and her autoimmune, like the symptoms from her lupus have decreased a lot. and another client, the mother had always woke up with a headache, and she said since doing the 2-week gut detox, she no longer wakes up with a headache. So it does really help lots of different conditions. And one of which is autism and ADHD, but another which there's a wide range of autoimmune conditions it helps with.
Definitely.
So that's step 4, take down toxins. Step 5 is solve with supplements. So there's certain supplements that if you give an autistic child will boost their brain health. And it's all completely personalized to each child based on their own biology and guided by the gene methylation results from step 2.
Nice.
So every child on my program would be taking different supplements depending on their own biology. Step 6 is charge the cerebellum. So the cerebellum is an area on the back of the brain. I know you're aware of this because of all of the operations you've had on your brain, and you're aware of it. But the cerebellum is an area on the back of everyone's brain, which only makes up 10% of the size of the brain, but it has over 80% of your brain's connections within it. So it's often called your brain's brain. And the cerebellum is smaller in autistic children compared to neurotypical individuals.
Interesting.
Yes, so that is really interesting. And a lot of people don't know that. Yeah. But just like you can increase the size of your biceps by doing very specific exercises, you could increase the size of your cerebellum by doing very specific exercises.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So it's amazing. And that's more of a long-term thing, but it helps with a wide range of conditions. For example, with autism, there's a reason why autistic children are more likely to have dyslexia or dyspraxia or other conditions as well. And it's all down to cerebellum.
Wow.
So there are exercises that I advise my clients to do, and my child and both children actually still do every single day to increase the size of their cerebellum to help them long term.
Wow.
So that's step 6, charge your cerebellum. Step 7 is empower emotions. So it's all about how to teach emotional literacy to your child. And the reason why that one was important to me is that if you look at the figures and if you look at the statistics, autistic individuals are more likely to commit suicide than neurotypical individuals. They're more likely to have depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, to say that they feel lonely. And I feel like the joy in life is friendship and relationships and that connection. And when a person generally thinks of an autistic individual, they generally, like the stereotype is someone who struggles with friendship.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want my child to miss out on the joy of life, one of the biggest joys of life. So I deliberately created a program to teach him emotional literacy. Just like you would teach your child how to read, you can teach your child to understand their own emotions and self-awareness and understand other people's emotions. So that they can learn more about people and build that friendship. And that was really important to me. And it's been really, really successful.
That is incredible. That is such a cool program. And I hope you're taking notes, everybody, because that was phenomenal. Just those steps, man. And that's in the book, obviously.
It's in the book. Yeah.
That's what the book is about. So so go to her website right now and get that book if that would be beneficial for you, or some. It feels like anymore, either you have a child that's autistic, or at least one person that has everybody that I can think of knows somebody that has an autistic member of their family. So that book could be huge for so many people. So if you don't get it for you, get it for a gift. So that would be,
even though I keep emphasizing that I work with autistic children, these steps have helped a 26-year-old autistic child, or the autistic individual that I know.
Yep.
So it's amazing where, after just doing 2 weeks of my program at 26 years old, he said he felt like the fog had lifted from his brain.
Nice.
And he was so anxious. He didn't leave his room before.
Oh,
and now things have changed. Yeah.
I love it, man. That's so cool. And I can't wait to hear more testimonials. We're going to take one more short break, but please stick around because testimonials are some of the funnest part. That's funnest. Is that a word? Well, it is now. That's some of the most fun we get to have around here is testimonials. So stick around. Do not go anywhere. And we will see you on the other side of the break.
In a world where office workers typically receive 130 daily emails and have an 8-second attention span, CoreCentrica, with her 4 decades of international marketing experience, has partnered with the Learning Code Institute and their 30 years of neuroscientific research. Together, we are crafting unique messaging strategies that resonate, connect, and ultimately convert our target audiences. CoreCentrica, where award-winning creativity and disruptive neuroscience come together. Scan this code now, or call and click, and let us show you how CoreCentrica's partnership with the Learning Code Institute is influencing how businesses connect with their audience, foster engagement, and achieve conversions.
Does your to-do list have you feeling stressed? Does your list include tasks like responding to email and phone calls, collecting forms and paperwork, and sending quotes and invoices? Have you been neglecting posting updates to your social media accounts, email newsletters, or content on your website? Maybe you need help to get digitally organized. I'm Selena, one of the owners at Office Mercenary, and we're a US-based virtual assistant agency. We can take care of all of these tasks and more so you can get back to focusing on the things you love about your business. Our team is happy to work with you and your individual needs. So schedule a call with us, bring your to-do list, and stop doing the tedious tasks.
Hi Hi there, I'm Dawn Livingston, your host on the Transcend and Succeed show. Join me Fridays at 2 p.m. Central for limitless inspiration and ways to help you transcend your limitations. Tune into the Achieve TV network and the Voyage to Vitality channel. Transcend and Succeed show, right here on A360 TV.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here for the last segment of the show. I can't believe it's gone this fast. It's so quick, but we are here, and I'm very excited to hear stories. First question I want to ask you, though, is something I ask every guest on the show, and I always love hearing the answer because it's always cool, and there's no wrong answer. So my question is this. With everything that you have been through, with all the things that you have had to fight through and learn and figure out on your own with your child, on the hard days, which I'm sure there still are once in a while, how do you find hope?
How do I find hope? I find a lot of hope in my child's progress. So, so I always remind myself that where I do feel like sometimes, everyone does have hard days. I always feel like, okay, he's doing better than he was 3 months ago. On the whole, he's doing better than he was 3 months ago. He's doing better than he was 6 months ago. Yeah. He's doing better than he was 12 months ago. So I find a lot of hope in that. This year, my child started school. So he started pre-K in the UK. We call it pre-K. So in September last year, so about 12 months ago. And he actually has dyslexia as well. And it's not been easy for him to learn how to read. So in the UK, they teach reading at pre-K. I don't know what they do in the US, but there have definitely been instances where the other children in his class are reading so fluently from the first week. Yeah. And I was told from other parents from January, so after about 4 months, all the children can read. And in February, my son was still struggling and he couldn't blend words. So then it hits you all again, like he's struggling. It really hurts as a parent to see your child struggle. Sure. And then it was dyslexia. We spoke to the school, and he now actually can read, which is really lovely. Awesome. But he did have a struggle, and then I had to remind myself that even though he wasn't blending words, he was still better than he was 6 months ago at recognizing words and letters. So even though he's not where everyone else is, he's still better than he was 3 months ago. He's still better than he was 6 months ago. So I find a lot of hope in that. So even though the journey's not smooth, I find a lot of hope and progress and getting in the right direction.
100%. Well, and you got to remember that everybody's different. I mean, even every kid in that class, autism or not, some read faster than others. Some blend words better than others. Everybody's so individual. So it's just about every area of life, comparing to others is always the enemy.
Yeah, it's true.
So
I agree.
Yeah. So stick to what you are doing with your children and don't worry about what anybody else is doing, because everybody has something that you don't know about. That if they're not struggling with reading, maybe they're struggling with something else that you're not.
Absolutely.
So, but so as the founder of Autism Brain Empowerment, how does that work? How are you empowering other parents who are in similar situations?
So I have a 6-month coaching program where I help parents of autistic children and give them that guidance, give them that structure on how to heal their child internally, rather than relying on band-aid therapies like speech and language therapy or ABA therapy, which is not healing your child internally. I've actually spoken to a lot of parents who what's it called? We might cut this part out. But what's it called? Never mind, I forgot. But So I have a 6-month coaching program, which I do one-on-one with parents, and I do it as a group. Nice. So with that, every single client I've worked with has seen progress with their child. And this is usually after standstill or stagnant progress, or if their child had learned a skill and then they keep having these regressions. And this is something sustainable, something consistent. So it's actually like one of my life's biggest achievements, actually, helping these parents and change their lives.
That's awesome. I love it. That's so cool. How is we got about 2 or 3 minutes left. One thing I want to make sure we get out there is the easiest way for people to reach you. I mean, we've got the QR code. We've had it up there the whole show. We've got the website, autismbrainempowerment.com. Is there any other easy ways for people to reach out to you to get information?
Absolutely. So the through my website, it has, and through all of my social media links, it has details on a webinar that I run. So the next webinar will be Sunday, the 15th of September, where parents can learn more about my program. The best way to register for that webinar will be through the website. So www.autismbrainempowerment.com. I'm also on pretty much every social media platform. On Instagram, my handle is Autism Brain Empowerment. On Facebook, it's the same. On TikTok, it's the same. And on LinkedIn, it's my name. So it's Theba Bajal.
Okay. Awesome. And I know that
and
those...
I'm on YouTube as well. YouTube
nice.
is Autism Brain Empowerment.
Beautiful. And I know all of those are in your bio that will be posted on the show notes. So if anybody, wants to visit any of those, they will be there on Facebook, on YouTube, and on E360 TV as well. So you can watch for those and follow and subscribe and share and all the things with your social media. So yeah, fantastic. Well, in the last minute or so, is there any last thought that you'd like to leave the audience?
I think don't give up on your child. Your child, and as parents, we see so much potential in our children, and other people are always telling us to give up on our child. And I think your child, their hope is you to guide them and to make these changes for them. So I think you don't give up on your child. And if you have big dreams for your child, don't give up on them as well. Don't listen to people that say you have to decrease them. You're in charge of your own life.
100%. Yeah. I mean, nobody knows your child better than you.
Absolutely,
So,
100%. Yeah.
Nobody knows your own body better than you, and nobody knows your child better than you. So any outside force that's trying to tell you something is not absolute. Yeah. It's definitely not. So, oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I am so impressed with what you're doing, and I'm so glad that we got to do this, and just thank you so much for being here, and for I know there's gonna be so many people that are gonna be reaching out to you with questions, and you're doing amazing work, and I'm so thankful that you were able to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeff. I've loved it, and
absolutely,
I'm sure we'll reconnect again.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh man. All right. Holy smokes. I know I say this every show, but man, that was one of my favorites. That was a good one. I love talking to people that are doing awesome stuff like that. So man, everybody reach out. Go back to that QR code and scan it and learn more, because she's doing some amazing things. So okay, everybody. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new, thank you for being here. If you have been a loyal, viewer this whole time from the beginning, thank you. Share, subscribe, like, follow, all the things on social media, and check out Invisible Condition University. If not for you, check it out for somebody that you love that might be able to use the resource. So I'm going to put that up there again, that QR code. Just scan that and join our community. You will be so happy you did. And join us for our next show, which will be Tuesday, August 27th. And until then, have an amazing day, and we will see you next time.